like chunky too.
Or a chunky crab.
Hey people, this is St. James Park. I'm going to take a little walk through the park and then down King Street. It's around 5:15 Friday afternoon. It's about 11 degrees Celsius, a bit on the cool side, but still warm enough to enjoy a nice walk around the city. So this park was recently renovated and just reopened. It was looking a little worn and down at the heels before, but now it's got a whole fresh new look. And now that things are green and the leaves are coming out, it looks really, really good. The park is named after St. James Cathedral, which is directly beside it. And I'll be walking past the cathedral momentarily. Guess they haven't turned on the fountain yet. Got lots of nice tulips here. Here you can see St. James Cathedral. It's probably the most famous cathedral in Toronto. It was built in 1853, but it replaced an earlier building that burned down in 1849. So this new cathedral, well, new at the time, when it was built, it was and still is to this day the tallest church spire in Canada and the second tallest in North America after St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. Now we're on King Street, heading west. Here's another look at the cathedral. Looks like a tour, perhaps, or something's going on. I see a welcome sign, so I'm not sure if it's a tour or just some sort of event. Oh, here we go. Well, okay, none of these dates are for today, so I'm just going to go with a tour. Let's say that. So I'm walking towards the financial district. part of King Street is referred to as King Street East because it's east of Yonge. Yonge Street is the dividing line that divides the streets in the city from east or west. So once we cross Yonge Street, we'll be on King Street West. This end of the city has lots of historic buildings. When Toronto was starting out, most of the growth was in this end of the city, east of Yonge, and it's spread westward as the years went by. So the cities in the east end tend to be the oldest buildings in the city. This is one of the countless construction sites in the city. Walking through the sidewalks, you're just forever going underneath construction hoarding. Seems like every other sidewalk in the city is covered up. See this, it's the site of a new, I think this is a new office / residential complex. I'm not sure if it's all residential or all office. And you can see they've retained the facade of the original building. So the new structure will rise up and it'll have the illusion that the old original building is still standing. Something that is very common here in Toronto. It has a name. They call it facadeism. A lot of people hate it, but the way I see it is better than nothing. It's better than if the building was completely erased. At least there's some, reminder of what was originally there.
Yeah, that's a good time.
504 King Street, streetcar. This stretch of King Street between Jarvis and Bathurst is the site of a pilot project that's been ongoing for over a year now, giving priority to streetcars. So vehicle traffic is only allowed to drive for 1 block along the street before they have to turn either right or left. So cars can't proceed down the entire length of King Street like they used to, which caused like insane amounts of congestion. Streetcars would get backed up in car traffic, and it was really inefficient for the movement of people on the streetcar line. So since they've implemented this new pilot project, the capacity and the number of streetcars they're able to run has increased dramatically. coming from the subway line, getting on the streetcar. King subway station right here.
I guess other things that
Crossing Yonge Street now. We're coming into the heart of the financial district right now. This building here is called Commerce Court North. It was completed in 1931, and at the time it was the tallest building in the British Empire, and it remained as such until the early 1960s, like 1962, until some buildings in Montreal surpassed it. But it wasn't that much longer until a new building was built here in Toronto that regained the crown of the tallest building in the British Empire, and that one's just up ahead. Actually, this intersection up ahead contains several buildings which all held the crown of the tallest building in the British Empire for a number of years. That tallest black building is the Toronto Dominion Centre Tower, and it was completed in 1967, and it held the crown of the tallest building in the British Empire for a number of years, until 1972 actually, until this building was built, which is Commerce Court West. So the old TD Tower there, it's 223 meters tall at 56 stories, and then this building came along, and it's 239 meters at 57 stories. Then, in 1975, this building came along, which is First Canadian Place. And it became the new tallest building in the British Empire at 298 meters, or 72 stories. And it remained the tallest building in the British Empire until 1998, when the Petronas Towers were built in Kuala Lumpur. As it stands now, though, this is still the tallest building in Toronto, not including the CN Tower, which is not classified as a building. There was presently a building under construction at Yonge and Bloor, which will surpass First Canadian Place and take the crown as the tallest building in Toronto. It will be 309 meters when completed. So the clock tower of Old City Hall up ahead. Crossing Bay Street right here. King and Bay is regarded as the center of the financial district.
Why did I just pay for you, Sheila?
Then you like get free. For any Americans who might be watching, you might see around your city lots of banks called TD Bank. Well, if you didn't know, that actually the TD stands for Toronto Dominion. So this is the original TD Bank, you could say. The trademark Beck taxis in Toronto with their very unbecoming color scheme, but they're definitely hard to miss. Even though it's been over a year that the King Street pilot project has been in effect, countless people here in the city still haven't gotten the memo when they proceed to drive down the length of King Street as if nothing had changed. So the cops are always on the lookout, ready to give them a ticket. I don't see any cops around right now though, so I guess it's a free-for-all. These cars turning right as they're supposed to, and that one there went right through the intersection, which he was not supposed to do. He should have turned right here. I don't think I mentioned before that the 504 King streetcar line is the busiest streetcar line in the city, and one of the busiest in North America, with over 80,000 daily riders just on one streetcar line. I believe the number was in the 60,000 range before the pilot project, and it jumped to 80,000 afterwards, which is a pretty significant increase. Shot at the CN Tower here. This circular glass building is Roy Thompson Hall, which is a concert hall and is home to the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. This stretch of King Street West that we're on now is referred to as the Entertainment District. There are a number of theaters along this stretch, as well as many restaurants and bars.
Okay, so what happened?
Some interesting artwork on this building.
Because right now, in 98% of the ocean, it's like pollution, plastic.
There's a Broadway show that's playing here. Dear Evan Hansen. I hear it's really good. This theater is the Royal Alex. It's one of the older theaters in the city. By the way, we have our own little Walk of Fame here in Toronto, called Canada's Walk of Fame. So as you can see here, Jim Carrey has his star, shaped like a maple leaf. Stands up and down the street for a number of blocks on both sides of the street.
It would take 3 people to bring her.
It's a little worse for wear. I think these sidewalks could you know, be rejuvenated. We have Gordon Lightfoot. Anne Murray. Bryan Adams. You get the idea.
Like to work?
We have a whole slew of them here in front of the Princess of Wales Theatre. TIFF Bell Lightbox. TIFF stands for Toronto International Film Festival, which is, as far as I know, the largest film festival in North America and might even be second in the world after the Cannes Film Festival now. So lots of important events take place here at the TIFF Bell Lightbox during the festival. Many screenings, after parties and whatnot. And the Lightbox screens movies all year round, not just during the festival. So festival type movies, independent films. Lots of restaurants along this stretch of King Street. A lot of the restaurant owners have been complaining very, very vocally since the pilot project went into effect, because they claim that since vehicular traffic has been reduced, that has affected their customer base and they're not getting as much business anymore. But from what I can see, the sidewalks are as busy as ever. And for people who drive downtown, sure, the on-street parking is no longer an option, but there are other nearby parking garages and whatnot. So if someone is determined to come downtown to eat at a restaurant along here, you think they would plan ahead and know that they have to park somewhere else nearby, if not directly on the street anymore. So I'm not sure what, sort of customer is no longer eating at these restaurants, unless the people who just happen to be driving by and just said, oh hey, look it, there's a restaurant, let's stop here and eat at it. Like, is that type of customer really that significant to their business? I don't know. It seems a bit unlikely to me, but they really insist though that if it's affected their business, and they would like to see the pilot project end and go back to normal along the stretch of King Street, but I don't think it's happening. I think the city wants to make it permanent.
So he's like, oh no, yeah, whatever.
Which one? All of them. We're gonna have to find a house.
Sometimes you take your life into your hands just trying to cross the street even though you have a green light. A lot of motorists here in the downtown area have zero patience. If there's 1 second where they can squeeze in and get that turn, they'll take it. They eliminated on-street parking on this stretch of King Street. They have added these little street seating things on either side of the street going up and down a number of blocks. Some of them are really creative. crossing Spadina Avenue.
I wanted to like.
Coming into the stretch of King Street West here that is known for its bars and nightclubs. This has become one of the main nightlife areas of the city. Lots of these old heritage buildings house very upscale clubs and lounges.
What are we doing?
Things like
This is a patio for nearby restaurants. Is yet to be set up.
So just to get across everything, yeah,
Anyway, we'll see you guys around.
Cab just couldn't wait. He had to take the turn, even though people were literally stepping off the curb.
That's no problem.
Love me some burritos. Bathurst Street, which is the western end of the King Street pilot project. Once you pass Bathurst, cars can travel normally along the length of the street. So you can see all the cars turning here because they want to avoid traveling down King Street from this point eastward if they think it impedes, you know, their freedom of travel.
Only for like
I think I'll stop it here. Hope you enjoyed my first narrated video. There'll be more to come, so keep watching.